The other day I was doing a code review and my coworker asked me what the caret does in a CSS selector. So this caret right here, that one. Okay, so I wanted to quickly explain what a character does in, what a caret does in a CSS selector. So I've just created this basic HTML page. We have these nested divs in here, and you can see them. I'm using Firefox here in the dev tools in the console. So I have my grandparent, my parent, and my child. And let's say within here, let's style the grandparent. Actually, to give some basic styling here, let's say that we're going to give each one 1 pixel of solid red border, and then we're going to give each one some padding, let's say 25 pixels on each of those. And I don't have any sort of hot module reloading set up or any sort of live reloading, so in here we can see that. And maybe I'll put in some stuff in the child just so we can see that here. So this is going to be the child. Okay, so now we can see what's in there, and then I can style all these elements individually. So let's say that if I had lots of different items, let's say I have several different children. So let's say I have a child there, and let's say even the grandparent actually has a child, and this child is not a parent. Okay, so let's save all of these, and we'll re-render this just so we can see how it looks. Okay, so we have some different stuff going on here. So this is the child, that's just the direct child of the grandparent, and then these children are descendants of the grandparent, right? So we've got this one up here, and then these 3 in here, which are direct descendants of the parent, and then this child is a direct descendant of the grandparent. Okay, so if I were to go in here and say grandparent, and I can style this and say that this border color is going to be blue instead, this will take precedence over this one because this is more specific, right? And then also because as the style sheet is cascading down, the last thing is going to take precedence. Okay, so if I save this, then the grandparent should have a blue border, right? So this outer border here is blue. And then also what I could do is I can now start to style the children. So let's say the children will have a border color of green. And this is all just for testing and for teaching. Obviously, I would give this style specifically to like the parent, or probably structure these things differently if I were really building something. But let's say that we want the grandparent and the grandparent that actually has a child within it to be green. Okay, so now any child element, any class, any div that has a class of child that is a descendant of grandparent will now have a green border. Okay, so when we refresh this, all these children will have green borders, right? Now, for what the caret does, the caret is going to basically say any child element that is now a direct descendant of grandparent will have this. So let's say this is now purple. Okay, so now this will only apply to elements that are direct descendants of this grandparent. So this one is a direct descendant of the grandparent, but these 3 are direct descendants of the parent. They're still descendants of this grandparent element. But if you can see, so this one will apply this green to all of them as this is cascading down. And then because this child is a direct descendant of the grandparent, it'll show purple. So let's refresh this here, and we can see that this one now updates to purple. Let's make this border a little bit thicker so we can see that, so it's more clear. This will make it a lot more clear. There we go. So now you can see that this child element here it's taking in the purple because it is a direct descendant of the grandparent. So that's what the caret does, is it applies it to just direct descendants. This green will take place for all child elements that are anywhere here. So actually with VS Code, you can kind of see that this child that's anywhere within grandparent, this selector will be applied to that. And then if we hover over here, you can see that this child has to be directly below the grandparent, excuse me. So that's what a caret does in CSS. This can be helpful in several different situations, depending on your code, how you have things structured, and what your app looks like. It can be really helpful sometimes if you want to give selectors depending on the situation. So hopefully that helps you out. You'll probably see this caret in CSS selectors from time to time, and now you can know exactly what it's doing. If you're using VS Code or another editor that has good IntelliSense or code hinting, then you can also look at this and get a general idea of what it's doing. But this caret will apply things to direct descendants of this CSS element. So hopefully that helps out. Let me know if you have any questions or if anything's unclear, and we'll see you in the next video.